Welcome, welcome. It's Terensu Live for the first time ever on YouTube. Gonna test out some classic gaming here. Second to make sure that our stream is updated here. Welcome, welcome. Okay guys, let's get started. I see two people, but I don't know who's watching. So if you are watching, tell me what character you want to see. I could play most characters in Tekken 2. Keep in mind this is the arcade version, so the AI is going to be a little difficult if you make me pick somebody I don't know, like Wang Jinrei or something. But if anybody has a character they want to see, let me know, and we'll go with that character. In honor of Kunimitsu's release to Tekken 7, I think we'll try her out first, just so you guys can see some old school classic Kunimitsu action. Kuni has a pretty tough time in old Tekken. She just doesn't have the moveset that she does in Tag 2. She does have stuff like that, which in Tekken 2 it's worth the risk, because if you land it you pretty much win. It's such high damage. We're off to a good start. As long as I don't lose the first round, I feel pretty good about it. Sometimes you get these really aggressive AI opponents, and then you get the ones that just stand there. That's a good point. Kunimitsu is completely 100% honest in Tekken 2. If Bump were here, I'm sure he would agree. I don't know if there's really any character in Tekken 2 that's not honest. I'm trying to think, because even characters that have crazy cheese like Devil, for example, or Angel, it's so easy to counter it that there's really no point in being upset about it. Lucky kick. I shouldn't have got away with that. Rasmus, how long have you been subscribed to the channel now? I feel like you've been around for several years. Well, if time lost all meaning for you, how was it a long time ago that it lost meaning for you? I think I'm going to share the stream, especially if we get beat by Paul here. I'm going to share the stream in the local Discord so that we... The Tekken 2 AI is just disgustingly cheap, and like it always hits, pretty much always, because I mean it's just reading your inputs and stuff. We'll see this be more apparent when I get to Devil here in a minute. We'll see this be more apparent when I get to Devil here in a minute. Yeah, sorry about the break, guys, but I'm going to share this so we get some, maybe get some more viewers in here to talk about honest Tekken. So in that case, it's like you exist outside of time. Then I guess none of it matters. This is terrible. I recorded some test Kunimitsu footage a couple weeks ago. I've actually got another podcast with Bump I need to post, but there were some audio issues and things I had to edit, so I just haven't gotten finished doing all that yet. But I recorded a playthrough with Kuni for that, just as kind of a background image. And I did much better than this. Like, I made it all the way to Devil before I even lost. If you're playing as like Kazuya, Paul is like trivial because you have the launching twin pistons that launches on normal hit with like no while rising or any of that required. So you can just sit there and spam that, and Paul's moves have such punishment time to them in Tekken 2. He loves that unseeable low. There we go. What you want to do is bait him into doing that, because then you can just launch him. Yeah, there's my boy Bump. He's here for that honest Tekken. Look at that. That combo did like 15 damage. That's some honest Tekken right there. Hey Mooski, this is Tekken 2, aka the best Tekken.
You win. Round 2. Fight.
Maybe, actually Lei is kind of dishonest as far as Tekken 2, but if Lei is the most dishonest character in Tekken 2, I guess that's okay. Yeah, Bump plays as Julia, so we know his Tekken is not honest. I think you have to. You have to use the cheap stuff. That's what Tekken is now. I mean, I think we joke about honest Tekken, but I think Tekken and like fighting games in general now, they aren't really about footsies and honesty anymore, because it's all about like drawing crowds at Evo. And so that for that you need comeback mechanics, and you need rage arts, and you need X-ray, and you need bone breaker. Yeah, that is true. That is true. You are very honest. I've got a pocket Zafina, so I can't say too much.
Round 2.
I'm gonna have to pull up the Kunimitsu move list and so I can look at all 15 of her moves. I've forgotten. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Back when grabs did like a fourth of your life bar in damage. Kunimitsu doesn't really have a 1-2. You know, most everybody has like a 1-2 punch Punisher. She doesn't really have that in Tekken 2.
You win. Round 1. Fight.
What's an example of a game that's about jank? I mean, NetherRealm fighters? How did I do that?
Round 2. Fight.
Fight of Gods. I don't know if MK9 is janky, but it's definitely busted. MK9 was one of those games, like that came out when I was in college, and I had a roommate who's not even into fighters. Like he's not a fighter type guy, but he was pretty good. Like he picked up Cyrax and he got on YouTube and found the standard like big combo, and we would do tag team matches online and that. And he was pretty good. We won a lot of matches. But that's one of those games that the better you get at it, the less fun it is, because like you said, it's just like busted at high level. Like I remember towards the end of the game when all the busted stuff was starting to make its way forward, we got paired up against some Cabal player, and it was just Cabal was just always high tier, and he just decimated us with like a combo that like 80 or 90% health. And like everybody in MK9 has stuff like that, I think. Dang it. Oh yeah, that was the one where the developer was in the chat, right? You were talking about that in the Discord. Alan Noon. I didn't mean to finish that. Got him! I want to see that again. That was pretty cool.
You win. Round 1. Fight.
So Alan, like a while back when I did the Bloodstorm review, I found some, like the Bloodstorm Confidential, you can Google that, it's like a player's guide they released back in the day. And there were some like fake codes for fighting secret bosses that either didn't get programmed in or they were never real to begin with. And I actually found him and reached out to him on Twitter, and he told me it was all BS, that they never were going to put those characters in the game. This AI is just input reading hard. Oh, that was the thing where they set a tennis ball on fire and went out in the parking lot, right? All of Heihachi's old Tekken themes are great. And you're about to get to hear it some more, because I've got to beat this cheesy AI. With like 10 moves. Did you see that? I side rolled When I saw this back in 1995, it blew my mind. All these throws. If you think this throwing is bad, wait till you get to Devil. That dude will just throw you to Kingdom Come. And in Tekken 2, throws are like nearly impossible to break, especially against the AI. One move that's very effective against AI that I think pretty much everybody has is down forward 4. You get this this kick here. Because in general, when you play AI in Tekken 2, you want to do lots of mids, because they, unless it's like super punishable, they usually won't punish you. They let you get away with it. But if you do high, they're just going to duck it on reaction. Probably even before the attack starts to come out, they'll duck it and just punish you. And if you do lows, they'll just insta block it. And if it's a punishable low, they'll launch you. But you just kind of need to mix up lows and mids, really. And you can do throws consistently up until about level 7 or so. There we go. Kazumi's name is actually written on the floor in this stage too, but you can't see it unless the camera is moved up. I mean, this stage just looks so cool, even though it's like PlayStation 2 graphics. If we keep having bad luck, I'm going to get the move list out.
Time up. You win. Round 2.
Yeah, I should have known that throw's coming. Every time you get an attack blocked, he's going to throw. It's like the CPU in old school Mortal Kombat, it just throws all the time. If you're pretty good at breaking throws in Tekken 7, load this bad boy up and see how good you are at breaking throws. Which I'm not. I'm not that good at breaking throws. I need to train on that. And it was even harder in these early Tekken games. Yeah, welcome to Tekken 2, my man. You should see Paul's Death Fist. You thought it was hard in Tekken 7. If your arcade operator had the health set lower, it'd probably be a one-hit KO. Did you know you could float a hell sweep? Look at him, he's just going to keep trying to do it over and over. What a jerk. Oh, come on! Yeah, we're gonna pull up the move list for Kuni here. Where's that? Because somebody actually wrote a move list for her. Here it is. Okay. This round's pretty much over, but we got the move list now, so. So Kunimitsu has forward forward 3+4 1+2, which is Yoshi's. Heihachi would stop murdering me. She has this, which is a move she straight up stole from Yoshi. Pretty much never going to land it against the AI on a higher level, but it does do a good amount of damage if you can do it. She has forward 2, which is the spinning backhand. It does force the opponent into back turn, so that's nice if you can land it. Unfortunately, it's a high, so the AI is just going to duck it, so that's not really any use. She has Yoshimitsu's back 1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1-1- She has the down version of it, which is a low, but the AI is just going to block it, punish you. What was that? This is pathetic. Come on, get out of here. Backdash away, backdash away.
Time up. Final round.
She has Yoshi's 444, which is high, 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 so that's like Punish Me City. She has this up forward 3. There's Kazumi's name written over there, by the way. Can't believe that hit. Got him. She has forward 4, which is that knee I've been doing. She has 3-4, which is lightning kicks. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's that Yoshi move. Okay. She has, of course, the kunai move. And she has 2-3 down +3. I don't know what that is. Oh, now I'm in trouble. And she has forward neutral 2, which is kunai advance. But again, the AI is just gonna stuff you on reaction.
Round 1. Fight.
It's just the classic arcade version, but put through the PC. From like the arcade. Come on, Nina.
Time up. You lose. Round 2. Fight.
Get out of here.
Final round. Fight.
It's a shame we fought Jack already because Cooney can actually lock him down with the down back 3. The player could probably get out of it, but the AI will just fall for that over and over again and just keep getting tripped up. Oh no.
Time up. You win. Round 1. Fight.
Here's our arch nemesis. They should bring back sub bosses. I missed that.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh, come on.
You continue. Kunimitsu. Round 1. Fight.
Well, it depends on how good she got at fixing air conditioners. Like, you just have to think, since Kunimitsu's daughter is in Tekken 7, that, like, after she lost the King of Iron Fist tournament too, she just, like, opened up the air conditioner shop full time, like, got married, had some kids, and, like, taught him ninjutsu on the side. If they don't have some sort of air conditioner reference for Kunimitsu too, like in a win animation or a customization item, could you imagine if one of her pre-fight intro panels was like her with like a wrench and like an air conditioner? That would be amazing. This guy is probably actually even worse than Devil. Fun fact, in the arcade version of Tekken 2, Purple Suit Kazuya is stored as a separate character, not a costume. A lot of people don't remember, but in the arcade version you can't select Purple Suit Kazuya. You can only do that in the PlayStation version without hacking. But he's stored as a separate character for whatever reason, probably to give him better frame data than the player character Kazuya.
Kunimitsu. Round 1. Fight. Time up. Use round 2. Fight.
I'd rather fight Jinpachi than this dude, honestly. Nice punish.
You win.
This was always really cool, like seeing this as a kid. I wish they'd bring this stage back. This stage would look really good with a modern graphics update. I wish I had a little bouncing ball counter at the bottom, which would how many times he throws me. The best way to punish that is to run behind him and then throw him with a back throw. Which if you land a back throw in Tekken 2, that's insane amounts of damage. Like you thought that Muski, I don't know if you're still there, but if you thought that other normal throw damage was crazy. And it's not exactly easy to get behind someone in Tekken 2 either, since there's no real 3D movement yet. See, I tried, but the movement's kind of wonky. Yeah, I wish Miss McFish wasn't in Europe so he could drop by. Maybe he'll wake up and see this and he'll come in. I think I know about fighting game, like unused characters and stuff. That guy knows twice as much as I do. Okay. When you whiff that, or he whiffs that, you really want to wait just a second to do the launcher, or otherwise it'll just give you a float instead of a full launch. Oh, come on. Not that you'd ever be able to react to the AI's throw speed, but I'm pretty sure that it can, like for example, if it throws out a left throw, and so you use the left break, it can change probably mid-animation to a 2 break, or a 2-4 break. You had to use 2 buttons in the original Tekken games. That's another thing I like about Tekken 2 that modern Tekken games overdo, is the Oki. So in Tekken 1, 2, somewhat 3, it was pretty much when a character was knocked down, you ran up and you got your one grounded hit. Some characters had special grounded hits, and sometimes you had some like tech traps and those type of things for people that roll back. But that was really it. Like, he's going to run up and hit one time, and then after that I've got kind of free movement to get up again. But in Tekken 7, it's just like you hit the ground and it's like a whole nother guessing game to get up, but it's not really a fun one because if you guess wrong, you die. Yeah, I tried to get behind him and failed. Yeah, I have noticed that, and that's an interesting stylistic choice because it's very video gamey, right? That the red text is there because presumably like Kuni and Devil can't see that, but we can. So that was just kind of a stylistic choice to put that up there, but I like it. I like that they made that appear back there too. Oh, come on, the throws! It's ridiculous the amount of throws this AI does. It's worse than the original Mortal Kombat. I've never even touched Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I've always heard that the entire game is just like you block for 15 minutes and then the opponent does their string and you block it for 15 minutes. And then you just repeat until somebody messes up and then you die. But I think it's like a tag team, right? Oh, these throws. Oh, these throws. There we go. Come on. Oh, come on, I launched him. After this, we'll do Kazuya, and we'll show you just like the night and day difference between the ease of playing as these two characters. I know it looks like I'm just doing the same thing over and expecting a different results, and to some extent I am, but that's just arcade version of Tekken 2, because it literally will read your inputs and like just duck lows on reaction before you even, pretty much as soon as you press the button it's already guarding low. Sorry about that. My kid came to tell me night. So that's kind of just what you have to do with Kunimitsu, and that's part of the reason I think she wasn't very popular, is because she has like 10 moves and pretty much all bad. Like they took the worst parts of Yoshimitsu's moveset, just dumped it on her. And you compare her to a character like Kazuya here, who has this launching twin pistons from standing. And like I don't even know a large part of Kazuya's moveset, but it's fine, you don't need it. He's that good. He's pretty much just like core fundamental Tekken. He's got a 50-50, he's got a whiff punisher. He's got a 10 frame punisher, which is great. Okay. What was MAME roulette? Dang. Did he play all the old like BIOS files? Changing the difficulty does matter, but it still will get extremely hard by the time you reach Devil, as far as like the input reading and that kind of stuff. Funnily enough, so I think I've mentioned several times on the channel, my parents used to be in the arcade industry, so I would always screw around with like the dip switches and that kind of things on the machines. So like most of the old Tekken games, I don't know about like 5 and up, but like 1, 2, 3, Tag Tournament, all those games were usually defaulted to at least hard. And when I say defaulted, like if you go in the menu and you go to the game adjustments and you go to game difficulty, like all the settings have a different color if they're on the default, and the default one is hard. And some of them have like more than one hard setting, so it'll be like very easy, easy, normal, hard, hard 2, hard 3, very hard, that type of thing. And the default, I want to say, is usually something like hard or hard 2 or something like that. It's always just because they wanted you basically to play the game long enough to feel like you got your money's worth, but they didn't want you to beat it. They wanted you to have to try a few times to get to the end. Unless you're a Tekken crazy person like me and you knew how to pick like Lee and do like laser edge kick or whatever it was to get to the end of it. Lee is actually pretty decent for fighting the CPU in Tekken 2, but he's not as good as Kazuya is. We're doing bad against Yoshimitsu here because I'm reminiscing. Yeah, well, like, what if he just had to play whatever came up on the stream, and he ended up having to play like the Mega Touch BIOS or something. Hit like and leave a comment if you know what a Mega Touch is. That sounds about right, BL12, yeah. Stage 7 is, I don't know why, but that's usually like the point of no return, and because Tekken 1 does that the same way. Like, it's pretty reasonable until you get to 7, and that's when they start breaking throws and just on reaction and that kind of crazy stuff. Like in Tekken 1, you can't break throws, but if 2 throws meet, they cancel each other out, so the AI will just start, anytime you throw it, it will magically decide to throw you at the same time to break your throw, even though there's no way you could ever do that on purpose. So you're telling me he didn't get to play Pachinko's sexy reaction? I assume that game has nudity in it. It may not. It may just be like kind of an ecchi thing, but. Yeah, go back and watch my match against Paul with Kunimitsu versus this one. So easy, just backdash and launch punish this Joker. Beat it, Paul. Go fight some aliens. F in the chat for serious, Paul. I like how Kazuya is like the evil, bad antagonist of this game, so his sub-boss is a kangaroo. Oh my gosh, this pose. No, no, no. So in the original Tekken games, they tried really hard to make all of the characters unique. And if you'll notice, there are no, in early Tekken, and even today, I don't think, like when you do the arcade mode, there's no mirror matches. Maybe for Tekken 7, because arcade mode in Tekken 7 is a travesty. But every character was supposed to have a unique sub-boss fight. And I think that they just kind of wanted to put Roger and Alex in as a joke, and they're like, well, who can he fight? And they're like, well, we need somebody for Kazuya, so how about him? I think the storyline reason is that when Kazuya had the Mishima Zaibatsu, he was developing animal weapons for test, and Roger and Alex were 2 animals that he experimented on, so it makes sense they wouldn't like him. What's neat, always neat to me, is if you play as Devil, Jun is actually the like, I think she takes the place of Kazuya, which was always really interesting to me. I can't believe I fell for that. I saw what it was just like 2 seconds too late. So I think that's another one of those, like, who do we give this character to? Because obviously Namco has never been that excited about Wang because he was one of the characters cut when they went to Tekken 3. There's an old document out there called Historicum Tekkenus, which a lot of it is just kind of conjecture, but a lot of it's been accepted into like popular Tekken fan lore. And the reason they kind of gave is Wang's whole reason, this is canonical by the way, his whole reason for being in Tekken 2 is that he knows how evil Kazuya is and he wants to return honor to the Mishima Zaibatsu. So he's like trying to find someone who he feels can like either free Kazuya of Devil's influence or defeat him. And so he fights Jun because she's the chosen one essentially. She's the one because of her Kazama bloodline. We know from the ending, Asuka's ending in Tekken 5, they can tame, at least temporarily, the Devil's influence. So, I mean, Jun, she was the one, right? She could do that. And so, Wang was looking for that person, so it makes sense that he would fight her. At least in my opinion. And that's kind of what the writer of that old Tekken document thought, too. Yeah, don't spoil the podcast. That's a joke from the podcast, Bump. I'm still, I was saying earlier, I'm still working on that. There was some audio issues that happened during the middle of it that I didn't find, so I've got to go back and edit the WAV file and try to fix that mess. It's taking me a little longer than I wanted it to. That's exactly. It was said that you would destroy the Mishima Zaibatsu, not join it. Jun's face when her son ends up plunging the world into war.
Kazuya Mishima. Round 1. Fight. Time up. You round 2. Fight.
The problem was that your parts were good. I think you had to use the restroom at one point, so I cut that out. That was no problem. But there was one point towards the end where, like when we were recording it, you could hear it, but when I went back and listened to it on Skype, all Skype recorded was just like, it sounded like if you were trying to talk on the phone with a bad cell phone connection or something. Oh, so that's a wild rising move in Tekken 2. Okay. The AI in Tekken is really funny. Like sometimes it just lets you beat it and it falls for every launcher, and then sometimes it just goes into this like kill mode where it ducks all your throws and highs. It just knows everything you're gonna do. I don't know if it's kind of like MK3 where if the player puts enough quarters in, it's like, okay, this person has either got money or it's on free play, so we're just gonna let them go because we want somebody else to be able to play the machine. Yeah, but see, Heihachi's on kill mode right now. So Sometimes it just basically decides, nope, you're not going to win this round, and kills you. And modern Tekkens do that too. They're a little bit more beatable just because it doesn't read buttons as hard. But like newer Tekken AIs even have a kill mode where they're basically like, okay, the player's not going to win this round. Yeah, pretty much. So after this, because I like you guys, do you guys want to see footage of the best 2D fighter ever made? Most of you know what I think that is. But to my knowledge, nobody's ever streamed that other than like Japanese tournaments and stuff. Rasmus knows what I'm talking about. In fact, this is getting annoying, so I'm just about to say screw this and we're going to play the best 2D fighter ever made. Alright, just spoilers. Canonically, Heihachi won this fight, so just FYI. Alright, are you guys ready for the best fighter ever made? Our best 2D fighter. You guys don't know about the fallen angels. Being the foremost expert on Daraku Tenchi in the Western Hemisphere, I'm taking all questions. Lore-wise, I couldn't tell you just a ton about the advanced like Japanese mechanics and stuff. As far as like stuff we've learned in game or just like the community lore or complete edition, you can actually play this game online with Fightcade, so if any of you local guys are interested in playing this, I will be more than happy to play some DT matches, because this is actually a really, really good 2D fighter. It's old, it's a little clunky, it's a little unbalanced, but it is actually really solid. The producer of this game, the lead producer, we actually follow each other on Twitter. And he's actually super cool about answering questions about the game. If you tweet him, he'll usually respond and answer.
楽に行きましょうか。
Round 1. Fight.
So for storyline information, I don't think we've really learned anything new. I've tweeted a few questions to Mitsuo Kodama about it, and he's answered the questions. I don't know if you're in the Raku Tenchi Discord. If not, you should probably check it out. But you know the unused characters like Jimmy, the naked one. I sent him a tweet and asked him why Jimmy was going to be naked, and he explained to me why he was naked. I also sent him a tweet and asked him exactly why Carlos and Cool didn't like each other, and he responded to that. And so you can go on the Discord and read about that. And just a few little things, and you can go check out my Obscure Gaming Uncovered video on it. I'm pretty sure you've already seen it, but that's kind of like the lore, like game storyline latest. As far as like complete edition, it's City Connection is not working on it anymore, and so I don't know if it got canceled by COVID or if it's just on hold or what, but it's probably dead. But the game still has a very active community in the West and in Japan. Like, there's a lot of people at Mikado that like to play this. And then there's a Western Discord that's got probably more people in it than my personal, like, YouTube Discord. People that play this.
Yuri.
楽に行きましょうか。
Round 1. Fight.
I didn't know if that would catch, but it did. So this game, if you go looking for it in Japan, it's called Diraku Tenchi. If you look for it in the West, it's called Diraku Tenchi: The Fallen Angels. And that's because they released it in Japan and they were planning to release it in America, but it's not really clear if they did or not because the game is unfinished. But there's a dip switch setting which translates all the text to English. So the English name of the game was intended to be The Fallen Angels, but because it leaked onto the internet originally in Japanese as Diraku Tenchi, and most people don't speak Japanese in America, imagine that. A lot of Americans will give it the misnomer Diraku Tenchi: The Fallen Angels, which is essentially calling the game Fallen Angels, Fallen Angels. But Diraku Tenchi is Japanese for Fallen Angel. It roughly translates to something like Degradation Angel or something like that. But it's low-key one of the best fighters. This came out in 1998. It's just gorgeous. It's fun to play. It's solid. The moves hit with impact. Every character is really viable up until you get to like the highest freaking level of competition. And the game is gorgeous. Like, all the backgrounds are animated. I just love it. I was dead serious when I said I believe this is the best 2D fighter ever made, and it's a shame it wasn't finished. It was released unfinished, and you can go online and read all about it or check my channel. I've got some videos about it. You see, like Rasmus, he's calling it Diraku Tenchi: The Fallen Angels, but really the technical, if you want to be technical, it's The Fallen Angels, and then in Japanese it's Diraku Tenchi. But if you say Diraku Tenchi: The Fallen Angels, people know what you're talking about in either region.
楽に行きましょうか。
Round 1. Fight.
To make the character models, they actually made 3D models and then did like motion capture of the 3D models and then turned them into sprites. plays like a mix of maybe like King of Fighters and maybe Art of Fighting, like one of the newer Art of Fighting games, something like that. That's not a jerk question. I don't know, that's a series like, it's just like the rest of my YouTube videos. Like my upload schedule is crazy and erratic, and sometimes I go for months and months where I post videos and then I'll just disappear for like half a year. And it's really because, one, I have, like my videos aren't the best quality, but I have certain standards of quality like in my head that I think they have to meet. And so there's been a lot of videos I've made that just didn't get posted because there was something I didn't like about them, or there was one technical mistake somewhere, and I'm just like, forget it, I'll just delete it and I won't post it. But Obscure Gaming Uncovered is like the rest of my videos in that I really have to get in the mood for it to actually get around to make it. Like I have all these ideas for other entries in that series that I want to do, but unless something just like grabs me and like gets me obsessed with it so that I'm like, I have to finish this video and get it up like that one did, I just won't do it. And that's bad, I guess, but the pandemic has actually been positive for my channel because I've had more time and I'm at home more, and when work is really, really slow, you know, I can upload videos and that type of thing. But probably after the stream, I'll get in the local Discord, Mooski, and I'll post some information about how to play this game online, and we can play some matches. It's super easy and it's free. So this guy, Cool, he's actually a charge character, so if you can play Guile in Street Fighter, you can play Cool. He's not the best character tier-wise because his moves are kind of hard to do and they don't do a lot of damage, but he has very high priority normals. Well, see, that's just the thing. I haven't really had a title strike me. One thing I was going to do one of those videos on was Deadly Sport, the unreleased follow-up to Survival Arts. I was going to do a video on that, and I was going to put that in the Obscure Gaming Uncovered series. But the problem with that is, as I got to making it, I actually recorded the audio for it and the footage, and I just got kind of discouraged because I realized that nothing I was telling anybody was anything you couldn't just go on like the internet and the Lost Media wiki and read. So, you know, maybe you would like me to just make a video and put that all in one concise place. But I don't know, it's just as I got to doing it, I'm like, well, people can just go read this, you know, why do I need to make another video about it? Whereas the Duraku Tenchi video, you know, I had to really dig deep on like Japanese Wikipedia and Japanese Twitter and Hajime Ito's website, which you can only access through the Wayback Machine. Like, I had to do some real deep dive type stuff that people probably have not seen on the internet since literally like 1998 when the game came out, or like 99, 2000, somewhere in there. And so I felt really confident, like even the theorizing stuff, I was like, okay, this is what people need to hear. Yeah, Urien is really good. He is really good, actually. But there's some story behind that if you want to know the lore. But yeah, Urien, like in the early days when people played this game online and talked about it, like on Shoryokin and the Duraku Tenchi forum and that kind of stuff, people thought that she was like mid-tier. And the same goes for his sister Urien. People thought that they were both just kind of mid to lower tier. And then we started to get match footage from Japan, and she is probably the best character in the game, honestly. You know, in the early days everybody thought it was Rushia Roche, but definitely not. That's a good point. There are probably a lot of weaker titles I could have done. I think, the more I think about it, a game like Kaiser Knuckle would be a good choice too because of Dan Kuga, the unreleased Champion Edition. I'd like to talk about the story in that game because there's a lot of story content you can only find online. And there was going to be like a sequel to that game. but they never made it.
You lose.
いいプレイか羨ましいぜ
If you can stream this stream, you could probably play Daraku Tenchi online because it's very
楽に行きましょうか
like very low intensity. People like I remember playing this game online with DSL back when I was in high school with like Caliera. But yeah, I thought about Deadly Sport. I thought about Kaiser Knuckle. At one point I thought about doing a video on like where we would walk through all of the Tekken games one by one, and we would like, this would be a long series, and we would basically say, okay, Tekken 1, here's what each character was doing in the tournament, here's why they were in it, here's what their outcome actually was, here's what their ending said, whether it happened or not. Kind of like I did for my Kunimitsu video for other characters. So a lot of the team that made Kaiser Knuckle went on to make that it's like that weird flying fighter Psychic Force 2021 or whatever it is. So a lot of people think that mysterious guy on the monitor at the end of Kaiser Knuckle was supposed to be Keith Allen, the final boss from that game, because it's kind of like a spiritual, not spiritual but spiritual successor to Kaiser Knuckle. So I've only played Guilty Gear 1 or 2 times. I haven't played Guilty Gear a lot. It seems okay. I know that Arc System games kind of have this reputation for being complicated and hard to play, but I only played it for like maybe an hour or 2 max at a friend's house because he thought that I don't know which Guilty Gear it was. It's on PlayStation 4, I know that. He thought it was one of the best looking games he'd ever played, just like with the animation and the supers and that type of stuff, so he wanted me to play it, and I did. I did play a little bit of Persona 4 Arena, so I assume the gameplay is similar to that. But I mean, it's fine. It's obviously a game you would have to sit down and take a lot of time to learn, but I liked it. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. So some interesting stuff about Urian here. I'm about 90% certain that Urian was not meant to be in this game, and that when basically the publisher, Saikyo, pulled all the funding from the Steel Hearts team, they basically said, okay, we don't have enough characters, we've got to come up with another character. So they just took Urian, took her dress off, and left her in the bodysuit and like recolored it, and gave her some grappling moves, and put her into the game as Urian. Because all the concept art, there's no mention of Urian at all. Urian has a sister in the concept art and the storyboards, but it's a girl named Maya. Never once do they mention Urian. She's never mentioned at all. But they did carry Maya's story over to Urian as far as like the win quotes and that stuff she has with the other characters. I'll shake that. Whiff punishing is a major part of this game, which is what makes it so fun. Like, if you can think it, you can whiff punish it. It makes it really fun.
Final round. Fight.
Very cute, Thor. How you doing, man? Mr. Duraku Tenchi here in the chat, don't let this man's ignorance fool you. He's probably one of the only people in North America that owns a physical copy of this game. I love that air throw, it's so cool. I guess I do need to change the... I just changed the game. Kudos to YouTube, man. Like, if you type in Duraku Tenchi, it suggests Fallen Angels to you, so it knows. It knows what this game is. I feel like there's a Duraku Tenchi fan at YouTube Gaming somewhere who like, I need to fix this. So this guy probably has one of the most busted, I won't really call it busted, but it's kind of like the most high risk, high reward supers in fighting games. So one thing about Duraku Tenchi, for a 2D fighter, it's very realistic. So you can see how Harry has a missile count under his health bar there. So those little wrist rockets he has, he only has a limited number of those, and every one of them he uses makes him weaker, so he can't afford to waste them. His super move is actually dependent on how many rockets he has left for damage, so if he wastes them all and he does his super, it does no damage. Now he does have another super which is probably even more deadly, but the easier to land one, it's going to be weak if you use up all your rockets. Oh yeah, see this? This is gonna kill because I'm at low health. But he only fired 2 rockets. If he has no rockets, he'll actually be like, oh, I'm out of rockets. And he'll go, you a lucky boy! Bump, if you're still in here, the guy who used to voice Heihachi does the voice of Harry here. That's Daisuke Gori. Fighting Harry with Urien is all about making him whiff those big power moves and then punishing it with dash punch. Oh, I didn't need to get hit by that. That might even be game. But the good news is he's now crippled for the rest of the match if I can just survive. He messed up. I got him.
いただきました。
Yeah, I'm bad out of practice too. If I tried to play you guys, you'd probably stomp me. It's one thing to just harass the CPU. Okay, so Urian and gender. And YouTube, please don't ban me because I know how sensitive you are about this stuff. So basically, if you look at Urian in the file select or the character select, it lists his gender as male, and all of like the storyboard information and like the character bios, which you have to look up on the Wayback Machine. Urian actually considers himself a man, and basically he cross-dresses to attract customers to the bar that he sings at. And like, if you look at, I think it's his ending. I think X Gargoyle found this in one of the storyboards. But basically, like his ending, had it been left in the game, would be that he stops doing that and just goes back to being a regular old, like, plainclothes Joe at the end of the game, once the whole ordeal with Carlos and the Windfish is settled. Trigger is probably the worst matchup for Urian in the game, which is pretty good because he's a boss character and he's unplayable without hacks or anything like that, but he's without a doubt the strongest character in the game. Just so strong. He has an instant hitting projectile with infinite bullets. He has a one-hit infinite with his standing hard kick. He can throw you out of anything. All his specials do mad damage and they come out crazy fast. And of course the AI loves to play cheesy and like read your inputs and that type of thing. One thing you can do, and he's being a jerk, he won't let me jump over him, is that you can trick him into whiffing the anti-air gunshot, or you can get him to, if you have your super, you can use a super when he has his, because the AI will almost always try to counter your super with his super, but yours will take priority and actually hit him. So that's one thing you can do, but it's risky because you have to be in low health to do that consistently. Yeah, you see, he went for his gun, but my attack was faster. It beat him out. I could have punished that harder. I should have. Yeah, see, he tried to do it, but I stuffed him. It's sad that these are the only cutscenes that made it into the final game. I would have loved to have seen if, like, you can actually look in the bitmap dump in the credits and see all the other cutscenes for the other characters that were supposed to be in the game, and they all look really good, but unfortunately this one and the one before Trigger are the only ones that made it. So Carlos is extremely busted, not as busted as Trigger, but he is harder to fight because of his crazy range and his high damage. And the best thing you can do is this, which is extremely cheesy, but it works most of the time. 50% of the time this works every time. Oh yeah, the art's gorgeous. It's beautiful art. Unfortunately, Carlos' stage is one of the more underwhelming ones. I mean, I get it, like it's the top of the tower, but I wish they had gone with like a more Maybe not quite as grandiose as something like, not really like Geese, but, oh, what's the guy from the first? Rugal. Maybe a kind of more regal type boss room for Carlos. But instead, it's just this kind of plain, like, dingy boardroom, but that's very much the style of the Fallen Angels. It's to not be flashy, but to be beautiful through, like, substance and, like, grit, rather than just, like, flashy, regal excellence. Oh, that's it. Oh.
You do. Final round. Fight.
I honestly thought it would be Trigger that would give me the most trouble. I don't know how many trench coats and dress slacks they had in the samurai days, though. One thing that makes Carlos so hard is not even how stupid broken his special move is. It's just, it's nearly impossible to punish it, like even on whiff. Whiff, or if you block it, it's nearly impossible to punish it.
Fight.
Well, that's why we have Mugen, so you can download. I'm sure there's a version of Samurai Showdown 2 for Mugen out there, and you can just download it. That is true, but I'm not an expert on historical like dates and things, but I believe that was probably possible in Europe at the time that Samurai Showdown took place. I don't know if the Japanese use much like iron plate armor and that type of stuff. I'm sure like Samurai did, but I always really liked Charlotte. I thought she was really cool. That taunt there, by the way, in Japanese, he's saying "Kitsure kuraran," which means like you're always so childish. See, like he had time to do that, get it blocked, and then like throw me out of my punish. And you haven't missed anything either. Oh, did you? And he's not in the newer Samurai Showdown games, is he? He's one of the characters that got taken out, if I remember correctly.
実にくだらん
So if you know how to make Mugen characters, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get in the Daraku Tenshi Discord, and we're gonna take a donation to go into a fund to pay an artist who knows how to make sprites, and we'll have them make a set of sprites for the 4 lost characters, and then you can program them into Mugen. And since all the other Daraku Tenshi characters are in Mugen, we'll just make our own complete edition. And I will, I'll write the stories and the bios and all that, and we'll just make our own complete edition. 'Cause I can't program Mugen, but I feel like I could write a pretty good story, so we'll do that.
実にくだらん
Oh, I'm glad Earthquake's in it. I always liked him.
死ね You do 神に逆らったことを後悔
楽に行きましょうか。
やつだけにしてやる死ね
Shine this.
死ね死ね
I didn't know you were a writer, Rasmus. DT probably wouldn't be that hard to, look at that. That's ridiculous. He does the attack, it's blocked, you go to punish it, he has time to do it again and then hit you out of your retaliation. I don't know why I'm surprised. It's like SNK Boss all over again.
実にくだらん 死ね
Part of me wonders if Trigger and Carlos they didn't get as much time in the oven as the other characters because they're missing a few animations that you can't see unless you hack the game to play as them. Those freaking eyebrows, man.
楽に行きましょうか。
やつだけにしてやる実にくだらん
Yeah, like his portrait and artwork stuff looks completely different than his in-game sprite. Like the lips are very strange in that.
さようなら
Yeah, the AI in Mortal Kombat, like the computer characters aren't even really characters. It's just like this weird Frankenstein's monster that the game puts together to make you fight. The properties are just so radically different, and Midway programmed those games so radically different than other fighters of that era. It's like, it doesn't even compare.
神に逆らったことを後悔。
Oh yeah, go watch my tutorial on MK2. You don't play Mortal Kombat 2 as in like fighting, you just like memorize a set of motions to go through. That's how you beat that game. The AI also has less frames of animation than you do too. Oh, have you ever played that Street Fighter 2 Grandmaster Challenge? You want to talk about some cheating AI in Street Fighter? And that's the game for you.
Round 2, fight!
Oh no, I jumped too late.
Sayonara.
In just an instant, the entire match progress is gone.
Final round, fight! Hine! Hine!
Speaking of Zangief, that's one thing I've always thought were BS in the Street Fighting games. I've never understood how those awful multi-throws work, like Dalzim and Zangief have. Like you're supposed to like mash to get out of it or something, but when the AI does it, they're at least going to take half your health before you can mash out. It's bullcrap. Yeah, don't play fighting games. It's not worth it. Especially if you're a high-strung person like me and you get salty. Maybe I should do a 24-hour trying to beat the general stream. Bring in some viewers. Got him. Yeah, so did you enjoy the ending? There it was. Just leave me alone. It is fun. I'll post a link to it after my stream, and I'll show you guys how to play it. It's really good. It's very simple to just pick up and play, because I mean there's only 8 playable characters, so you can just pick up somebody you like and learn their moves. Every character's got about 4 or 5 special moves, if that, and they kind of fit together with other characters as like puzzle pieces. Whiff punishing is huge in this game, at least at normal level. When you get up to like Japanese tournament level, it's all just going to be like poking Rushdown with Urien, but just like at the casual, like where we're at, really fun game to play. And one thing that helps with that, DT, is if you go to tournaments and play in person and just like play a lot of in-person matches. And I think it's the same reason that people have road rage. Like when people are driving, like you would say horrible things to the person who's behind the wheel of another car. And I think it's because that car puts up like a front, so you can't see the human. And it's the same thing with fighting games. When you play online, your brain is still telling you you're playing the AI even though you're not. And that makes you angry because you feel like the AI is cheating you when really it's just another person who's just as good as you are. Just for fun. Yeah, Duraku Knight's a lot easier too because I mean we know all those people and we know that they're all cool. No pun intended. So this is Trigger. You want to see how busted Trigger is? One button infinite. A player may be able to get out of that, I'm not sure, but the AI can. And yeah, you guys definitely could come to Duraku Night. We still play this on Fridays. This move's really cool. Pow! Yeah, you go to tournaments and you'll meet some of the nicest people you've ever met, but you see, like I play somebody online, I just think like terrible things about the opponent.
Good.
邪魔をするなら容赦はしないぜ。嫌だったら逃げ出してもいいんだぜ。
ラウンド1、ファイト。
ほら、そんな
Don't taunt me, cool. See you, Thor. Take care, man.
ファイヤー、ウィン。ラウンド2、ファイト。
So you would never notice it because you can't play as him normally, but Trigger actually has, like he has a strong and a weak version of his special move there, the gunshot, Violence Birthday. You would think they just would have done one since he was a boss character, but he actually has two. One does more damage than the other. And he also has like most characters have a super version of their super move that they'll do when they have low health and their power meter is full. He has one too, you just can't tell the difference because all it does is does more damage. But he does have one. It's not, it doesn't have like a special animation like Urian's, for example. Seizure one. Get out of here. I once, probably the best I've ever done at a Tekken tournament, the biggest tournament I did the best at, was in the back of a vape shop when our local scene was still trying to find a place to get set up. So they were hosting the tournament in the back of a vape shop, and it was literally a toxic environment. I don't mean that the people were rude because they weren't. I mean there was literally like if you ever played Mario 64, Hazy Maze Cave, the place with all the poison just floating around. It was that, except it was vape smoke. It took second though, so that was nice.
Hi. It's showtime.
嫌だったら逃げ出してもいいんだぜ。
ラウンド1、ファイト。
I just tried to do a Wild Rising 2 as trigger. I really need to go to bed.
Tiger, win. Round 2, fight.
I didn't think so. That's right, repping Sunday Showdown. Can't wait for it to start back.
Tiger, win.
Most of the Smash players that I remember from the tournaments, the locals I was going to, were pretty chill. There were one or two of them that were watching Tekken matches, like when it was first getting started, and were like, "Oh, the combo damage is so high. Why would you ever want to play this game?" That kind of stuff. But you know, we just look at Smash and we're like, "Oh, this is a party game. Why would you ever want to play this?" I'm probably about to get lit up by the FGC when that comment goes public. I think everybody likes to talk a little trash about the other games in the community. It keeps it healthy, keeps it honest.
Tiger, win. Round 2, fight. Tiger, win. Fight.
手加減はできねえ。覚悟してこい。嫌だったら逃げ出してもいいぞ。
Round 1, fight.
So as fun as it is destroying this game with Trigger, I think we might change games. What do you guys think? You want to see some more? You want to see some Tekken 7 and go modern? Or do you want to see an actual, like, bad 2D fighter? Bad 2D fighter you've never played before? I'll let you guys pick.
Tiger, win. Round 2, fight.
I do have work tomorrow, so I can't stream just that much longer, but I'm going to start trying to stream more since I feel like this has gone pretty well tonight. And this is just kind of a last-minute decision, but since it's going well. Oh, you want bad games, huh? Okay. What kind of bad game do you want? Do you want a game that is bad but fun to play, or a game that is bad and not fun to play? I can do either one. You're gonna see some stuff that you want to do Tattoo Assassins? I see one Tattoo Assassins. Anybody else want Tattoo Assassins?
Dusty. Round 1, fight. KO. Tiger, win. Round 2.
So far all I see is Tattoo Assassins, so I think that's going to be our winner. And really appreciate it, guys, for picking a bad game that isn't fun to play, but I'll do it for you guys. I'll do it for the fans. How is any question difficult for a man who is above time itself? Let me find you guys some... Yeah, give me just a moment to set this up and we'll play some Tattoo Assassins. Tattoo Assassins is just so laughably bad in all respects. I think that's a good choice. I think it is. I hope the voice audio quality has been good tonight. I've just got I finally got a decent mic a while ago, but now I've actually invested in an arm to hold it so I can use both hands and I'm not having to lean in and do crazy things like that. So. Oh gosh, Clay Fighter. Like, I would legit rather play Tattoo Assassins than I would Clay Fighter. Okay, it looks like we're going to be able to get this working. It's the Terensu Gaming Hour featuring Tattoo Assassins. This is me playing this game for you guys is the equivalent of that scene in Full Metal Jacket where he's like, he finds the jelly donut and he's like, they're paying for it, you eat it. Well, this is it. This is, this is what you asked for, ladies and gentlemen. So, you paid for it, you eat it. Okay? You're dang right you're about to see a real fighting game. I'm just waiting on the stream to catch up to what I'm seeing, and then we'll... Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. There's actually a really long article online, like a first-hand account of one of the people that made this game. If you haven't read that, go look that up and read it, because he talks about like just mega crunch time working on this game, and like just he mentions at one point just like coding away in like the middle of the night, and he just casually leans over his desk and vomits and then just starts back working because the crunch was so real to get this dog turd of a fighting game produced. That's Sting's wife, by the way. I mean, the stream is probably going to get taken down for that, but that's not Sting. Slash. That's Slash's wife played that character there. Oh, it makes no sense whatsoever. It's just terrible. And this could have been a fairly decent concept with the tattoos that come to life. It could have been good, but it's just not. It's terrible. Yeah, Bump, you didn't know you was going to see some Tattoo Assassin's high-level play tonight, did you? I'm just kind of letting the attract mode here run so you can see the beautiful story and the man in the diaper that you're about to see. I had to get the man in the diaper in there before we start the actual game. Okay, so some fun, before we start, some fun Terensu lore for you. And I hate to reveal this, but I guess I'm going to go ahead and reveal it because I don't think it's ever going to happen. I actually got in touch with the guy who plays Luke Cord. And I may have mentioned this in my Discord, I'm not sure. But the guy that plays Luke Cord, the Marine, I actually got in touch with him through email. And he's still acting to this day. He's still actor. He's not like an A-list actor. I don't think he would mind me saying that because, I mean, it's true. He's not acting in like... You know, I think he had a small part in Angels in the Outfield, I believe was his biggest role. But he's a good guy. I corresponded a few emails with him and talked to him a little bit about the game. And, you know, I told him I wanted to have him on the podcast to talk about it and just kind of give his experience with it. And he had actually a lot to say, or he said he did. He said he had a lot to say, and he said he had a lot of criticisms about the game and just kind of what they did with it, and he felt it could be better. And I was like, oh, that's great. You know, I want to hear what you have to say about it. But he was working on another project, and so that was about the time I think my gallbladder went bad, I believe, and so I had to be out for surgery a few weeks. And finally I followed up with him and said, hey, do you still want to do this thing? And he said he was filming another project and he would get up with me, and we kind of left it at that. I haven't followed up with him again because I didn't want to harass the guy, because I know he's trying to make money and do his project, whatever it is. And then I also reached out to this guy that plays AC Current. I found his, I won't say what it was because I don't want people to go look him up, but I found a personal website of his, and I sent him a message and was like, hey, did you play XYZ character? Would you be willing to come on the podcast and talk about it? And there was a bizarre exchange that followed. I don't want to reveal too much of it because I don't really have his permission to do that. But a very bizarre, short exchange followed, and then nothing ever came of it. So we'll put it at that. Nothing ever came of it. So unfortunately, I did not have either of those guys on. Who knows? Maybe I will follow up with the Luke Cord guy, this guy here, Luke Cord, and see if he would be up to do that interview still. But I did find and talk to Luke here, the guy who played him. I've looked for Truck Davis and Takata. I haven't been able to find them. Finding the guy that played Dantel in Survival Arts was really just a stroke of luck. And that guy was super cool. Shout outs to Sam Radetsky. He was super cool about coming on and talking about being Dantel. But anyway, let's play this trash. That volume is kind of low. I may try to fix that. Okay, so unfortunately I couldn't really find a way to turn that volume up, but you're not missing much anyway. The volume's terrible in this. What is that game like at a high level? I've never actually seen that game at a high level. Carla Keller is another character I tried to reach out to, but I wasn't able to get a hold of. That's why I think I may just end up reaching out to Alan Noon. Okay, so Hana is OP. So you can do a jump-in punch into an uppercut. That seems a little strong. That sweep has terrible range. I do wonder, like there is a tier list for this game, just nobody knows what it is. I would love to see what the competitive tier list for this game look like. I could kind of see that because at the time, you know, you're coming out of Cold War, so Zangief, the Russian Cold War era grappler, I could kind of see that. But DJ being a villain is just like laughable. DJ, it'd be like if Snoop Dogg was the villain in your game. Like this just plays like a slow, clunky Mortal Kombat. Oh, I forgot about Def Jam Vendetta. That's an interesting series. I had a friend I used to go hang out with a lot in grade school and high school, and he was really into the Def Jam games. And I remember going over there and playing that with him and just being amazed that they had like all the rappers and like this fighting storyline. It was really interesting. The cheetah stock sound effect. What is the block button? I'm still trying to learn the controls in this, and the game's also terrible. Like the collision on that kick is terrible. Like it doesn't even hit. So Carla is an honest tattoo assassin's character. You have to know what you're doing to play Carla in this game. So I believe it was Hannah Hart, the character we fought earlier, was I believe a Dallas cheerleader's cowboy, a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader at one point. And I want to say it was the lady that played Carla was like in, like not pornographic, but like kind of those, like you go to the video store and you find those cheap skin flick type things, videos. I think she did those kind of movies for a little while. She's also on Facebook. I reached out to her and she just never responded. So I don't know if she doesn't use her Facebook anymore or just doesn't want to talk about being in Tattoo Assassins. It's probably the latter, to be honest. But the AC Current guy, I messaged him and it was like 2 months later he responded, or longer. I may reach out to Alan Noon from Strata and see if he wants to come talk about Bloodstorm on the stream or on the podcast. That would be really interesting. Oh, so high kick, low kick, block. Okay. Thank you. I think I know what buttons those are. What the heck? What? Was that what that was supposed to do?
I thought you could fight.
Round 1, kill.
Oh yeah, pro strats. Stole the health bar exploding from Primal Rage. What is this sprite even doing? It's so dumb. If you're watching this, Luke Cage, I still want you to come on the show. Ah, you got me.
Round 2, fight.
Like half of her moves, the collision just doesn't hit. And like her sweep is so pointless because she sweeps so close to her body. Never played as Billy Two Moons. I'm sure he's no Night Wolf, but we'll give him a shot. Oh, I still can't believe we have so many of these characters left to beat.
Round 1, kill.
If I had to guess, the top tiers in this game would be characters who had decent reach, because it seems like so many normals that you would expect to have good reach, like jumping high kicks and stuff, just have like no range at all. Oh, that ridiculously slow sweep.
Luke wins. Round
Luke's legs don't look right. Like, I don't know if they just didn't like the way the guy's legs looked, and so they gave him some fake legs after or what, but they just don't seem real.
Get up and fight.
And if anybody comes in the chat and tells me I'm a scrub for calling this game bad because I'm just doing jump kicks over and over, screw you. This game's too bad. If I had to guess, there's probably a lot of repeats with fatality commands because they put so many in the game. See, like, why?
I thought you could fight.
Did you just say you saw a serious set of tattoo assassins? Mod, can someone ban him, please? I believe there's some MK style auto ducking going on here. Did you, yeah, I just air comboed me to win. Yeah, this is about the most accurate thing you could describe this as.
I thought you could fight.
Round one. Fight.
Well, who knows? Maybe here on the stream we'll discover some secret Tattoo Assassin's tech.
I thought you could fight.
I don't know, grenade seems a little OP considering it hits air, it hits in the ground. Whoa, what was that? Look at me ducking that knife throw in reaction like a pro. I hate this game. Oh, that's typical 2D Mortal Kombat knockoff trickery. I'm actually going to give Takahata another shot, 'cause I think we did... I really like that beat up super, the kendo sticks. If I could figure out a way to like chain that into like wake up or something, I think I could...
Round one. Fight.
And given our vast knowledge of the meta of this game, we're probably right. Look at this insane corner pressure here. Where's the stripper with the acid venom spit? Because every time I press the special attack button, he trades. He goes for a trade, but this should act as a containment move, so maybe we can out damage him. Let's see. Hey Rex, how you doing? Okay, I think I figured it out. Here we go. You have to delay your jump kick and then he doesn't attack. Well, maybe not, maybe. Okay, there we go. Ah. Why do they want 2 credits to continue? As if anyone would want to continue playing this game. I think they actually programmed a hard counter to the acid spit on attack button. So you mean to tell me they went through all the trouble of programming a specific AI response for this and they couldn't make this game any better than this? I do like the risk versus reward on the grenades. Like if it's blocked, whatever's blocked bounce back and hurts you. I do think that's an interesting mechanic for a strong like projectile move like that. That there's some inherent risk in it. And as I can tell, that's not damaging me at all. Like the chip. Okay guys, so you see the I thought I was going to beat him like that, but he decided to get uppity there at the end. Why is that anchor uppercut a mid-attack? See you, Rasmus. Thanks for stopping by. Why would I sweep into uppercut when I've got the sit there and let him kill himself tech? See, I got a 2-hit combo of him just holding block. AI just landed a 5-hit corner carry wall combo on me. Let's try spider jump. What is that? I think I'm going to be a Hannah Hart main. I like her moves. That down kick has got a lot of range on it. Learning the buttons. What in the world? Alright, just let him damage himself. Let him go to the projectile routine here. One thing that's dumb about this game is that characters seem to have lots of moves that do the same thing, even though in practice they don't because the game's so badly designed. But like he's got this grenade move, which is a good, almost like a containment, space control type move. He's got the straight projectile. You know, like, why does he need so many projectiles? Maybe just some variations on the grenade or something. Come on, kill yourself. A curious game, the only winning move is not to play. Come on. We did it, boys. Me and the boys playing Tattoo Assassins. Derek O'Toole. His last name describes 90% of the characters in this game. Uppercuts have like no range. You have to be at like point blank range to punish anything with an uppercut. Back, forward with Hannah. Oh, the cartwheel. Of course, you can't buffer it into blocking either. As fate would have it, Hannah Hart has a move that's back, forward. Let's see if it's a fatality too. Oh yeah, she just cartwheel a man in half, you know, no big deal.
Round one, kill.
Oh no. This may be even harder than the other one. Okay, I think it's going to revolve somehow around baiting and punishing that M. Bison Psycho Crusher move. Hey, Fernandaps, yes, this is the tattoo game. So apparently she can punish that on hit, or at least the AI can. Yeah, if you use that move and it hits, she gets a 2-hit combo off of you. So stupid. Yeah, they asked for it, so I'm playing it, and I regret it. I just noticed something I've never noticed. The towel down there at the bottom gets lower and lower the closer you are to fighting the sub-bosses. So that's kind of a neat little feature. Yep, I found my main. I'm going to main Hannah Hart at, if Evo comes back ever, I'm going to main Hannah Hart at Tattoo Assassin's side tournament. Side tournament, who am I kidding? This game will be on the main stage for sure. Why couldn't I do any of this when I played as Carla? All right, we need a ace in the hole here. It's good old-fashioned projectile spam. Maybe that's what we need. What in the world was that? Why couldn't you have guys requested I play Perfect Soldiers? That would have been fun.
I thought you could fight.
So did that mean she ate the head too? Or was it just like...
Eat blade.
There we go. I don't know what his moves are, but at least she's dead. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some more bad fighters we could load up and play if I do this again soon, which I plan to. I really have been wanting to play some Fight Fever, believe it or not, so I think we should bust that game out. I think that'd be a fun one. That dash punch, it hits grounded, by the way. If you're ducking, it still hits you.
I thought you could fight.
Round one. Begin.
It's so inconsistent. Like, some of the stuff in this game, you can just duck right under it, and then some of it, like, even though it's supposed to be a high or look like a high move, it just hits you anyway. This is actually probably my first playthrough of this game where I haven't resorted to just, like, cheating. Oof. Got some real pulse pounding matches going here. Uh oh, we're up to the sub bosses. The end is in sight. And at the sight of it, I don't think I want to go any further. Oh, did you see that nice little corner juggle there? So imagine it's like 95, 96. You're sitting around at your job at Data East Pinball. You're making this fighting game. You know it's going to be a failure. May not even get mass released. And you're like, well, we need some boss characters. What kind of boss characters should there be in a game about tattoos that come to life? And some of the ideas are like, I could see it now. The ideas are going to be like a Rhino person with a horn on their head and a decaying zombie named Deke K. And then the third guy's like, how about a tattoo shop owner who has lots of really strong and interesting tattoos and is like a tattoo master, and that's the guy they throw out the window, like in the little meme. I'm stun locked for most of that, by the way. I can't block it, move it, duck it, or anything. I just have to stand there and take it. I can't go down there and select them, but I'm sure there's a code. It was just never released. Oh! Oh my god. No. No. Could we not? Just no. Never show me that again. I have to win, so I don't have to look at that again. Back, back, high punch. I definitely think the AI has certain routines it's doing, because if you'll notice, some matches it just falls for the jump kick over and over again, and then sometimes it chooses to just rush in and kill you. So I'm not sure if it's like loading two different routines, and like for one of them it's like a, okay, run the kind of the anti-ranged routine, or if it's, I'm not sure what it's doing. Please don't make me look at that again. I need to find the actor that played Rhino. I'd really love to have a chat with her and see. What were you thinking? See, like right now I'm having no problems with the jump kicks, but it'll change probably towards the end and just start like bum rushing me. Amazingly enough, that little horn charge does seem like it's punishable if you block it. It's kind of weird if you're not playing, but like her attacks, you can tell when she lands attacks, there's no like pushback. Like I know there's combos in fighting games obviously, but like there's some sort of like change that has to occur after a hit to prevent infinites. She doesn't really have that. It's like she hits, but there's no like pushback. It's like the punch just kind of stays in you, if that makes sense. This guy doesn't seem to have much in the way of anti-air. Super easy. And these bosses might have been a little better if they'd had any like personality or fanfare at all, but they just kind of show up and they don't have like their own stages. They don't have stage music. Like DK, I mean, if you're going to have a zombie, at least give him like a graveyard stage or something interesting. Instead, it's just plain old Tattoo Assassin's backgrounds. See, I swear his animation goes into hyperdrive there. These typical 90s cheating AI tricks. I dread seeing the final boss. I don't know what fighting him's going to be like. He has time to walk up and hit you with a standing hard kick after hitting you with that in the corner. What in the world? Just turned into Blanca there for a second. I thought we had him the first time and he just turned this around completely. It's like he's wave dashing.
I thought you could fight.
Yeah, just this game was ahead of its time. You didn't know it had waifu before Tekken ever thought about it. And see, now he's back to the slow routine. But in a minute he'll just go like Ultra Instinct DK. and just thrash me. So I've noticed that his projectiles are definitely tied to your buttons. Like the moment that you press a button is usually when the projectile comes out. So the jump kicks work a little better if you wait till later in the kick. Because if you press it earlier, like when you're up there, he's going to throw his projectile and try to kill you. So I kind of see what they were doing with their AI, but it's very easy to exploit when you figure that out. Prism. This is a neat idea, honestly, but the execution's just terrible.
Navy rules.
This guy can't jump, by the way, so that's a game I've never played. I don't think I've ever played a single 3DO game. Such high def. Epic win animation. I wanted the jump. I think that might be. Oh, that profile picture. It's just like a guy, like what's obviously like painted cardboard. So I definitely think they weren't done like. You're gonna be like, yeah, no duh. I think they definitely were not done with like the hit. I don't know what you call it, but the weight of the hits in this game is all wrong. Like sometimes you hit and the character just goes flying back, like they took damage, and sometimes you hit and it's like the punch is going into them connecting, but it's not. They're not suffering any knockback or anything because of it. It's very strange. The character select cursor also does not stay on the same spot, so that's kind of annoying.
I thought you could fight. You're
Round one, kill.
Like, I mean, there's like Rugal Bernstein frustration because he's better than you as a character and beats you, and then there's just like his moves have no recoil, so he just. Okay, he died awful quick there. That was strange. Did headshots do more damage on this guy? Alright, well, we're about to find out. Like I said, this is my first time playing through this start to finish legitimate. I've kind of screwed around with cheats and stuff, but I've never actually sat down and beat this whole game. I don't even know if he has anything that could hit a ducking opponent. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Yeah, there's like no delay between his animations. Coldan also has a dumb game.
I thought you could fight. You're weak.
Round one, kill.
Alright, that's one. Lend me your strength. Raise your hands so I can gather the spirit bomb. That death animation is mildly cool. Having dispatched Koldan, Hannah returns home and successfully hunts down and dispatches the man who killed her sister. 3-time convicted rapist found strangled by silk cord. Tiring of life of violence, Hannah uses her new tattoo powers to become a thriving entrepreneur. While wearing Shiva's outfit from Mortal Kombat 3, apparently. Well, that was certainly something. It's killer time. Charlie Rice, that's the guy I had the email correspondence with. Had no luck finding Melanie, or Rick Malley has actually been in some other stuff. He's like a, I guess you'd call it like a B-list martial arts movie actor type thing, something like that. Maybe he's been in some A stuff. I don't want to shortchange the guy. I don't know, but I just looked. He has an IMDb profile you can go look at and see some of the movies and things he's been in. Kevin Knotts, that's Don Knotts' younger brother. And just as soon as it began, it's over. Or is it? Just for fun, and I use that term loosely. Check this out. We'll do a little bit of this and then I gotta run. It's getting late, my time. And apparently Rhino has an unused player 2 palette, which I've just accessed. That's pretty cool. She has no high punch. I'm pressing high punch, it does nothing. Has a low punch. She does have a jump, but I don't know if the AI ever uses it. So that's her little charge. It's just back, back, forward, and a punch. And interestingly, even though she doesn't have a high punch, you can use it to do that move. So it's reading the input there. There's just nothing for it. Special move button does nothing, but probably because it's not programmed to let you play as her to pick a special move to put on that button. And you can fatality off of it. Even that Rhino up there in her image doesn't want any part of this. It's like, get me out of here. So I've studied martial arts. I'm no expert at it either, but I can tell you that Maya's fighting stance, top quality. I don't even think that's the actor's real hair, and if it is, they've done something with it, but whatever they've done to it didn't work. So let's see, as Rhino, what can we do? We don't have a hard punch. We have a low punch. No high kick. So basically the bosses only have one punch and one kick. They can block. Special move button does nothing. She has back, back, forward, which is the charge. I'm not even sure what other button. Okay. So quarter circle forward and then punch. And you have to use low punch. You can't use high punch. Is the horn blast there. So the game does have some quarter circle forwards in it apparently. I don't know that she has any kick special moves. Let's see, when the human controls her, her punches have knockback after so many hits. There's definitely AI tomfoolery going on with Boss Rhino. I'm sure Admiral McFish, master of all unplayable characters, could tell me all about it. I wonder if I could do those punches into the charge. Oh, she has a fart. Great. And that's just back, back, back punch. I don't know if I've ever seen AI Rhino use that. I'd love to do one of the developers of this hop in the podcast. That would be legit. Talk about developing this game and just kind of what the thought process was, because even a team that makes a bad game, it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad programmers or bad game designers. I mean, stuff happens, and you can read the stories about this game and read about all the crunch time they were put through, and just like the poor. Like, it was obviously supposed to cash in on Mortal Kombat, so they're kind of pigeonholed by that. That picture of Rhino is just terrifying. That's one of the scariest things in games. Like, forget Resident Evil, forget Silent Hill 2. You know, forget it all. That picture of Rhino is probably the scariest thing in a game I've seen. She has really long reach, unlike the other characters who's... Like, they'll do their forward jump kick. Like, if you're doing a move like that, you're expecting, like, I need some range at the cost of being punished if it missed. But all the other characters, like, their jump-in high kicks and moves like that are just, like, these dumb, like, I don't know what you'd call it, but you saw it when I played through. They have, like, no range. And then a sweep, you would expect that you need that to be a fast, low with medium range. And they'll just, like, sweep close to their body. Like, almost like it should be a fierce attack or something. It makes no sense. And I believe her charge goes through other moves. You can also see she eats projectiles too. She just eats the damage. What we need is a code that modifies not necessarily the character directly, but to hack the character select so that we could choose what character is selected and go directly to the bosses to see if it would be possible to select them and select their special moves. I'd be interested to see that. Probably wouldn't be that hard to do. It would just be the matter of being willing to waste however much of your day to hack tattoo assassins. Admiral may have actually done it. I need to check. was hoping the horn blast killed. Alright guys, it's midnight my time. This has drained any semblance of not only energy but also will to live that I had today, so thanks for that everybody. Good stream today, lots of comments and discussions, lots of people watching. I'm looking here at the stats. This was really good. This was more than I ever expected for this. So yeah, I'll definitely be streaming live again soon. I just uploaded a new video a couple hours ago about using the Kano Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 3, so go check that out if you're interested in such things and good fighting games and hidden content in them. Go check that out. Thanks for all my subscribers who tuned in. If you were just wandering YouTube and you found and you tuned in, thanks so much. All the Showdown guys, thank you so much for dropping in. I'm going to send you a link so you can play Daraku Tenchi and how to set that up, because it's a good game. We'd love to have more players in the DT community. So thanks for that, guys. This is Terensu signing out. Tune in next time. I'm not really sure what the streaming schedule will be, but we'll definitely get one set up and going so that we can do this more frequently and on a schedule. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you. Have a good night.